Hello, Cancer. This is Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the year of 2022. I first want to start talking about Venus retrograde that begins December 19th, 2021 in Capricorn and goes until January 29th, 2022. So we'll already be walking into 2022 with that energy. And for you, this is happening in a part of the chart that has to do with relationships. So very, very important part of the chart for you. This is how you relate to others, not only in romance, marriage partnerships, also business partnerships, and even friends. So this has to do with your relationships. Venus is values, relationships, self-esteem. All these things are up for review in your relationships, in your very personal relationships. You're going to be deciding what really matters and can I build something here? Because if the answer is no, then you probably don't want to be there. Self-worth, is my self-worth being lifted in this relationship or is it not? What works in my relationships and what really doesn't work in my relationships. And Venus in Capricorn can be kind of cold. It's not a real warm and fuzzy energy. It's more of a reality check energy. It's more practical. At the end of the transit, what you see will be very different than at the beginning of the transit. There are a couple key dates. Venus meets Pluto in the sky December 11th, 2021, and conjuncts Pluto again around March 4th, 2022. So these are likely moments of change in relationships. You just might want to mark those down. Because Venus is going back and forth, that might be a time when you really decide, okay, I need to make these changes. This has to go. I got to purge this relationship, or I got to purge this value in this relationship. Or I'm not seeing my value, so this has to go. So those are going to be key moments. I also want to talk about the Mercury retrogrades really quick. So they're going to be similar to this year, similar spots in the sky. First, we have Mercury retrograde in Aquarius and Capricorn. So that happens January 14th. So we have that happening in a part of the chart that has to do with intimate relationships for you. Also shared resources, money that you share with somebody else. So there could be some miscommunications. There could be you looking over things again. There could be some kind of, how Mercury retrograde is. Maybe, you think that somebody sent a letter and it didn't send, and then your money gets messed up because of that. So you got to, just be patient with that and make sure you double check everything. It also goes back into Capricorn a little bit. So, your communication with your partners, marriage partners, friends, and business partners particularly. May 10th is Mercury retrograde in Gemini and Taurus. So for you, this is a part of the sky that has to do with karmic endings. And it also goes a little bit into Taurus, which has to do with your friends as well. So, you're revisiting how you communicate. Also, your communication with spirit, your subconscious. Are you listening to your subconscious? Do you know how you're thinking subconsciously? And what can you do to change that? September 9th, we have Mercury retrograde in Libra and Virgo. So let's see, Libra and Virgo. So this is happening in a part of the chart that has to do with your home and your home and the house you live in and your family and even your ancestors. So there could be something going on, maybe a delay or something in paperwork that has to do with your home. It might be you rethinking how you are thinking as well, because it retrogrades into the third house a little bit. So your communication, your travels, and even your neighborhood, like the neighbors that you either want or you have. You could be looking at that as well. And then December 29th, at the very end of the year, it's going to retrograde into Capricorn. And that's a part of the sky, again, for you that has to do with relationships. So very important theme, relationships this year for Cancer. We also want to look at Jupiter goes into Pisces in 2021. So we enter the year with Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces. And I think you're going to really love this because it's also Pisces is also a water sign. So Jupiter going into Pisces is going to be very nice for you. This is a part of the sky that has to do with education and broadcasting and sharing wisdom. If you are a person going back to school, it's a perfect time for that. If not, then you might be sharing your wisdom or your knowledge with others, broadcasting it, publishing it. There's might be something there that you are sharing with the world, and it's blessed. So that is really good energy. And then on February 17th, Jupiter is going to sextile Uranus, and that's going to happen in a part of the sky that has to do with the internet. It has to do with your friends or groups you belong to, or your hopes, wishes, and dreams. So this might be a time where there might be some opportunity there. Maybe a broadcasting opportunity or an opportunity with friends. But this is something that, you would have to get the blessings, you would have to participate in. So look out for that date. And we talked about Venus retrograde. I want to talk a little bit about Mars retrograde. So Mars retrograde is going to happen October 30th in 25 degrees Gemini. So for you, that's going to happen in a very ethereal part of the sky. So this has to do with karmic endings. It has to do with your psychological thought processes, the subconscious. And you're going to, Mars in that part of the sky sometimes makes, especially retrograde, it makes it difficult to take action. And because of that, you're going to have more strategic action. So anything, you can't just really act out. You have to go within and be more strategic when Mars is retrograde. So this does have to do with karmic endings. It has to do with institutions, and I think perhaps maybe your subconscious thoughts as well. That happens. That goes right into 2023. So it's a really long time in Gemini for Mars. Yeah, take a look at your power of communication, or your power of your thoughts, and the reason behind why you think that way, and then what do you need to change so that your actions have different outcomes. Probably going to be where this is for you. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about the the eclipses. So we have a solar eclipse April 30th at 10 degrees Taurus, a lunar eclipse May 15th at 25 degrees Scorpio, a solar eclipse October 25th at 2 degrees Scorpio, and a lunar eclipse November 8th at 15 degrees Taurus. So the Taurus and Scorpio axis for you has to do with relationships and children that you have or that you want, and your creativity and fun. So there's something here that you're purging and getting rid of. The eclipses will happen on both sides of the polarities all year long. So this is like an 18-month cycle. And I hope you were paying attention November 19th of 2021 to whatever was going on, because whatever was brought in at that moment, that's going to be something you're going to be reviewing over and over again. Excuse me. So with the North Node in the 11th house, that has to do with friends, hopes, wishes, dreams. Now, Taurus has to do with security. It has to do with the senses, food, possessions. your relationship with material things. But in the 11th house, this is going to have to do something to do with your values and your friendships, and how you value your friendships or how your friends value you. And the opposite polarity is your romantic relationships, and what are you purging out of the way you've done romance? What needs to go? What is feeling heavy in that area? Anything to do with your kids as well. So if there were cycles with your kids that, that it could be like the end of a, I don't know, what do I want to call it? Like a stage for one of your kids. And, they're moving to a new stage. I know I have teenagers in the house, and, they're always moving through a new stage. So there could be something like, oh, they're not a baby anymore. Now they're in this stage. So that's something too. Also, you could be fulfilling some kind of creative project and, kind of being done with that. 5th house. Also too, you could be changing the way that you have fun. Fun can be different for you now somehow. Okay. I think that is where those things are going to be. And with the North Node in the 11th too, I would think that your hopes, wishes, and dreams are going to change as well. And Uranus is in Taurus, so we have all, our sense of security is not what it was before. And I think all year you'll be looking for security in friendships, but yet certain areas have to be purged as well. Like certain friendships might not be so secure, and certain relationships also might not be so secure. All right, thank you, Cancer. Have a great year.